Hello, welcome to Barbershop Talk, episode number 33. We are here at the House of Experts, 728 Broadway here in the city of Patterson. Jonathan Vicicio is the owner. John, 21 years of service here. All right. John is also the volleyball coach for the Patterson Recreation Volleyball Program, which is doing an outstanding job. Hey, John, come up real quick, give us a real quick update before we get rolling into this other stuff. I know volleyball and all the sports camps are still open for the City of Patterson Recreation. All you have to do is go to www.pattersonrec.com to register your kids. I know volleyball is full already, but we have basketball. We have it at the Ain't for Everybody Hollywood Ballers basketball over at Patterson Catholic, the old Patterson Catholic Steam High School now, but a bunch of stuff going on. If you have any questions, just call Recreation, 973-321-1313. We'll be running from July 6th to August 21st, 8:30 to 3:30 every day, Monday through Friday. So, John, give me a volleyball update. What's going on?
We're good right now. You know, a lot of the parents are calling me. The program ended after school. The
Memorial Day before Memorial Day.
Yeah, it was over. So the kids are bored at home. Can't wait till the camp starts July 6th. We got some great coaches this summer. We got 2 D1 coaches that are going to spearhead the program. It's going to be real good.
Tell us about your coach who is now a doctor, the young lady. What's her name?
Jada Batista. Shout out Jada Batista. Dr. Jada Batista.
Jada Batista. From Patterson Recreation Volleyball. Big time.
Yeah, she's great. She's a blessing.
All right, so we'll be back and get more stuff. John ran his first tournament this year at school number 24 here in Patterson. Unbelievable job, great parents, great participation, and great young people that is going to benefit volleyball from the Eastside Kennedy to the charter schools to PCTI. So keep up the great work, John. We appreciate you. Next to me, we have the president of the Political American Dominican Force.
Right.
I always get it mixed up here.
Dominican American Political Force.
That's a powerful name there. Yes. But the one, the only, Miguel Diaz.
Thank you.
Next up, we have one of our veteran Patterson Public School Board Commissioners, Corey Teague. And next to Mr. Teague, we have the head basketball coach at College Chief Patterson, Tony Murphy Jr. And rounding out our panel today, we have Justin Wimberly, the CEO of Zone 6. And then in the crowd, we have some legends with us today because we're going to get into basketball. Everybody's on fire. What did he say? Tracy said paint the sky orange and blue. The Knicks are in the finals against the San Antonio Spurs. A lot of New Jersey flavor with obviously Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson, big body Jalen Brunson with New Jersey roots, and of course, Dylan Harper, whose mom is from the city of Patterson, who grew up right here in the rec courts here in the city of Patterson. But we have with us the only person I have ever named a camp after is Rob Alexander. Like, this camp was full every year. The best thing about Rob is every kid, all 75 kids, will leave with a nickname. I don't care who they are. They're going to get a nickname before it's over. But Rob has been with me for 27 years in recreation. And that camp is over at the old PC. I believe it's full already, but, you know, stand by. You never know if somebody drops out. And next then we have our one and only, the guy who's going to get me to these Jay-Z tickets over in, the Bronx at Yankee Stadium, Shalik Simon, Leak Vision with us. Now Shalik actually has tickets to the Knicks games. I saw him at Game 4. He's at Game 4. He's courtside. He's hobnobbing with the big guys. And Shalik, you got to come up and tell us about what's my man Tracy. He's at Tracy Morgan's other day. I said this got to be a joke. He's chilling at Tracy Morgan's house. Was that Bernard King in the picture?
Yeah, Bernard King. Yeah.
Who else was there?
Stephon Marbury.
Starberry. Yeah.
Who else? Yeah. Who else there?
Tim.
Yeah, of course, Tim was there. Hargrove. One of the guys from the Giants. You know, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I don't know the Jets and the Giants without the helmet. They all the same.
They all look the same.
But yeah, it just so what happened was we was trying to figure out, we know we've all been on pins and needles since we sweat. Who we gonna play? OKC, San Antonio. So I had the luxury of seeing both. I saw San Antonio in Vegas at the NBA Cup. And I saw OKC when they was at the Garden. So I just want to play. We was ready for either or. So Tracy reached out like, yo, where y'all watching the game at? I said, I don't know. you know, I don't really make plans if it's not a Knicks game, but this is an important game. So he's like, yo, pull up to my house. I'm having the chef cook and this and that third. So we pulled up, and he like, yeah, Bernard, I just spoke to Bernard King. He coming. Bernard King, like I told y'all, Baby Rob was picking me up from the projects in 1985 to go to the Garden when we get scout tickets for $10 to $15. So to be there with Bernard King and other NBA dudes and just, we didn't have a rooting interest. Like I said, we was ready for anybody, OKC or San Antonio.
I was cheering for Dylan and to see San
Yeah, I'm
Antonio.
sure. I wanted Dylan to do good too, and I ain't crazy about Shea. But as a Knicks fan, we built for either or, and we here now. Wednesday it all kicks off. I'll be there game 4, and let's go Knicks.
Well, listen, tell Tracy Morgan if he remembers. Justin was in 30 Rock with him when he was a kid.
Oh yeah,
so,
I was on the show with him.
Maybe
Oh,
get
yeah,
some
I'm gonna tell him.
nosebleeds. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
Hey,
him.
Jay, we gotta post that picture. Like Trace, don't forget us.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna see him when we going to Rob Bass' funeral on Wednesday in Inglewood. R.P. Rob Bass. It takes 2.
Shout out, shout out to Rob Bass, a legend, and that's a classic. Everybody knows it takes
Both
2.
together now.
Yes,
Both together.
That's something. But next to Shalik, we have the Passaic County surrogate Zola Casanova, who's up for election. I'm also going to have Zola come up at some point, not yet, and explain what a surrogate does. I think it's so important in our community that so many people have no clue what a surrogate does. So we want to make sure that folks know when and where they can reach out to her and get assistance from our great surrogate, who I am supporting 100% for re-election. I don't know who would dare run against you in November, but I guess somebody's got to run against you. But next to Zola, we have the one, the only, the first lady of all sports in the city of Patterson and beyond the out of bounds, Marion Watkins. Better known as Pig's wife. That's what we were saying.
Coach's wife.
Coach's wife, that's right. And next to her, we have Trinace Barbie Watkins, my neighbor, former commissioner, involved in a little bit of everything here in the city of Patterson. And next to them, we have the business administrator of Cliffside, where are you at now?
Englewood Cliffs.
Englewood Cliffs, one of them big expensive places. Englewood Cliffs, you did like George Jefferson. You moved on up from Prospect Park to Englewood Cliffs. It's pretty good for a local kid from Patterson. Innishan Chowdhury, who's a great political mind here, not only in Passaic County, but in the state of New Jersey, and well respected beyond the Young Democrats. And next to him we have, I don't know how do I introduce her. I'm not sure, but she was a football player this spring for the, what was it, the Surge? Linebacker, the Jersey Surf, but they play here at Hinscombe Stadium. Marquisha Guthrie is also involved with the Passaic County Sheriff's Department with community relations. She applied with the Passaic County Democratic Party. But more importantly, her new title, she's a linebacker for the Surf. And Marquisha Guthrie, you're going to hear a little bit more about that. I don't know. I give her big respect. I thought she was a basketball guy at first. When I saw the football thing come out, I got like, oh, okay. Now power forward type thing going on down there in tackle football. But listen, we're going to jump right into it. Midterm elections are tomorrow, June 2nd. The polls here in New Jersey will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. And exercise your right to vote. Like, we had a decent turnout, an increase of almost 5,000 voters for the May election from 4 years previous. And I think we got to keep the momentum going for the midterms. We know what's at stake for the midterms, not just here in the state of New Jersey, but throughout the United States. As a Democrat and as somebody who is an American and believes in the democracy, I think we have to take control of the House and the Senate just for the sanity. I mean, I think I read somewhere today, SNAP benefits cut here in New Jersey for 38,000 people. 38, and then I see some of the comments that people make. Get a job, do this, they got to hear. Some of the requirements, everybody can't work, everybody can't do certain things. But the last thing in America is having people starving. And food lines, how they are now, gas prices are up, housing is up. You name it, it's up. So you have to get out here and vote, exercise your right to vote, and make sure you get involved. And every vote counts. Every vote counts. Even, Zola's unopposed, but still get out here and make sure you vote for our surrogate, and you make sure you vote for the other people. We have County Commissioner up, we have our Sheriff up, we have Nellie Poe up, our Congresswoman who's fighting for us down in Trenton. And this is an important election for you to get involved with. So I don't want people to go to sleep. And we're going to start off with a little politics first. And the one thing I would say is, Patterson, you did increase your voter turnout. The voter turnout came out in the election. As you know, Mayor Andre Sayre won with 7,020 votes. Alex Mendez had 6,397. And Mike Jackson had 5,325. And Dr. Usman had, I think, a little over 2,800 votes. And the point is, each of these numbers went up. People came out, they voiced their opinion. The at-large numbers were decent. Shout out to Paula Alford for being a high vote getter, along with returning Council President Elisa Mims and returning Councilwoman at Large Maritza Davila. But the one thing I want to say is I salute anybody that puts their hat in the race. It is not easy. There were some comments by our Councilwoman Davila that, I'm not going after anybody. I think anybody who puts their hat, I'm cheering for you indirectly. I was not working against anybody. I think the best person wins. And the one thing I find out, and Miguel, you've been around this a lot longer than me sometimes, endorsements mean something, right? But it doesn't guarantee you win. The candidate has to win their own election. I saw that Cory Booker went down to Philly and endorsed streets for the congressional election. Now everybody thinks, Cory Booker and the mayor of Philadelphia endorsed him, and he didn't win. So you can't count on somebody else to win your election. You have to own up to your own election. The next day, don't be a sore loser or a sore winner because you didn't win by a certain amount of votes. Give me your outlook on this past election.
Well, let me say first, thank you for inviting me to your show. This is a show that already 33 years old. I mean, Jesus Christ age. I mean, we're good, we're safe. But now, about the last election, it was a good show first. I mean, people come out and demonstrate that they are not happy. People understand that something is missing. Because the current mayor won, it doesn't mean that people are happy with what happened in the city. I mean, 2/3 of the population that went to the poll voted against him. I mean, 21,000 come out, 14,000 went against him. I mean, that's a good numbers. And he had to play safe, and he had to do the job because people show that they are not happy the way we are. I mean, a winner is a winner, and we congratulate him because he won. But this is something that he had to make sure that he had to respond to the people because the people showed him that they were not happy the way this administration have been working for the last.
And let me ask you this: as an incumbent, he spent over $700,000 in a municipal election. I think Mendez spent $80,000 or something like that.
Yeah, about
and
that.
Jackson's numbers aren't out yet on what he spent, but I'm pretty sure it's under $40,000, $50,000. And Dr. Usman probably spent somewhere in that same area. The one thing when people talk about you need money to win, even though he won, it shows that a grassroots campaign can win, and
Yes.
we're seeing it from. Mejia winning, over in District 11. You see the guy Rab who won over in Philadelphia was another grassroots person.
Stewart here.
Kenyatta Stewart here. Madami in New York. Nobody would have thought, like, you think about this, New York, you think of the strong Jewish population. Here's a Muslim who wins. And it sends a major message. It sends a message about change. And the one thing I do hope, Miguel, and I want Cory, you to come in is that the mayor understands that it's time to build bridges.
Yes.
If you have a win, which is a win, but at this point now, it's time to build bridges. Not burn bridges, build bridges, extend the olive branch, and make Patterson better for everybody. Not just for a small amount of people, but for everybody. And that's my message to the mayor, to the people. You can't be like a sore winner and go, I won, and take my ball and run home. Like, no. You need to say, look, I need to get to these 14,000 people. I need to see why they're so upset with me. And it's more than social media. It's more than photo ops. It's like who you are and you're built in. And that's one thing I liked about Alfred winning. Alfred was already doing work before she ran for a political office. Where a lot of people think running for a political office is going to give them an opportunity to give out a turkey or a bicycle or something like that. And it's a little bigger than doing those things.
More than that.
So Cory, how do you think about these grassroots campaigns and in the past Patterson election?
Yeah, grassroots campaigns is actually where I'm at. I guess the easiest way is to go back to 2012, April 17th. I'll never forget that night. That was the very first time I ran. And it was grassroots. I think we spent all of $50 on the election. And I remember surprisingly winning that night. And the words from Benji were, have a platform. That was his words that night. And I held on to those words and never let them go. And I think that's one of the things a lot of the candidates are missing. It's not about how much money you have, how many endorsements you have. Do you have a platform? Do you have a basis for why you're running for the seat you're running for. In my instance, I got involved in the school district specifically because my son is disabled, nonverbal, autistic. My daughter was dealing with learning disabilities through school. And so I wanted to get involved in that. You have to have a story, you have to have a purpose, you have to have a mission, you have to have a message. You can't just show up and say, oh, I got the money, so y'all can vote for me. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it works. But as we've seen in the past, even with this past election, sometimes it doesn't. And even those who did win, they didn't win by much as compared to the past. You can clearly see that people actually came out and started trying to make motion. And I want the community to understand that all motion is good. Even if it's slow motion, you're still making motion. You send a message that you see what's going on, and you're not happy with what's going on, and maybe what we did wasn't enough to affect the change that we wanted at the moment, but that doesn't mean you give up and go home. Tomorrow's another election. Like literally, that's not a figment of speech. Tomorrow is literally another election. And that election is going to determine who gets to run in November. So, come out again tomorrow. Please don't just stay home and say, well, May didn't go the way we wanted to. Let me tell you something. I've had the option or the opportunity to both win and lose. When you lose, guess what? That only means you have another opportunity to win. So do not walk away. That's what I want to say to all the candidates. Win, lose, or draw, do not walk away, because that is what the public actually sees. They don't see when you're running. They see what happens after you lose. Are you going to continue to work in the community, or are you just going to disappear till another election cycle comes? So the authenticity is what people really want to see. They're not worried about flyers. They're not worried about pamphlets. They want to see authenticity.
I appreciate that. That's great advice to many of the young people. And it's 16 people ran for at large. Yeah. So there's something out there, and some of the platforms were great. There are some great candidates that I really like personally, and go, man, but I wish you would have done more of this, that, and the other before the campaign season starts, and that makes a fact. Now, Coach Murphy, you're around young people all day. It's an impact when it comes to you still being part of this community. What advice would you give politicians as far as getting to young people that you see every day?
I would say, come see them. Come, just come to the school, come visit them, talk to them. I don't really, see a lot of that working in the school. I don't really see too many people, and we're actually right across the street from, we're right downtown City Hall. So I just think, just seeing what they want to do, their ideas. A lot of them, they have a lot. They super creative. So I would say, just be involved with them, be in tune with them, come speak to them, and build a relationship.
Yeah, gotcha. Just you're out in the community, you're working with a lot of young people. What message do you send politicians as far as attracting more young people to get involved in the process?
Finding creative ways to connect with the younger demographic, find things that are of interest to the younger demographic is one way that politicians can connect. We live in a different day and age where evolution is probably different from 4 years ago of, running for office. There are certain things that this generation cares about, and if you could find common ground with the younger generation, then you might open a lane for yourself with a certain age group or demographic to get some extra votes.
Okay, all right. Zola, I'm going to bring you up. Let's talk about tomorrow's midterm election, or primary election here in New Jersey. Just give us some information, and at the point after that, just tell everyone what a surrogate does.
Well, tomorrow is June 2nd. We are now selecting who's going to run for the Democrat ticket at the county level, and at because I don't have an opposition on my but it doesn't matter if I'm not opposed. I'm still connecting with the community. And tomorrow, June 2nd, we will be selecting who will run for county commissioner. There are there's 4 candidates running, 2 choices for that seat, those 2 seats. And it's important to get out the vote. I am running with Democratic endorsed candidates for the and I don't want to make it too political, so I'm going to talk about.
No, you can make it political.
Okay.
Tell your people. I mean,
all right.
you're
Well,
here.
The endorsed Democratic candidates are Nick Velicky, and for re-election, Orlando Cruz, and they are D1 and D2. I am C1. So for Casanova, don't forget. And for everybody out there, Casanova is a woman. And you've met an original. So the surrogates court is the only judicial position that the people get to pick. And it's because it is truly the people's court. Everybody dies. Whether you want to believe it or not, we're all going there. And that is so important to know that. And that's why I took that leap, because I went to, after COVID, I needed a wider platform to make sure that the Black and brown community understand how to get their affairs in order. And I kept on hearing it's too expensive. So for our seniors and our veterans, this surrogate judge does free wills, simple wills, and for our first responders. Okay, it may not be popular among the lawyers, but again, I believe in grassroots. Okay, and I hope to see you on August 1st, because a group that is dear to me is the special needs
I was
community.
getting ready to say something
And
about
I
that.
empower, because the surrogate court also deals with guardianship of adults and minors, adults with special needs. But I empower the community because knowledge is power. So I'm not just sitting, although my beautiful court, my office is in the beautiful historical courthouse in 71 Hamilton Street. I'm out in the community because my purpose is to be and empower the community. And from day one, 2022, without fear, I was sworn in 2022, and in August of 2022, despite being hit by a truck, I launched my first will event for our seniors and our veterans, because not even getting hit by a truck in a wheelchair was going to stop me. And that's my promise to the community always. And I'm there. Actually, I have some people in the room who got wills as well, because we need to get our affairs in order. We have worked so hard from coming from nothing to be able to provide for our families, yet each generation starts at zero because we don't know how to pass on our generational wealth. So I've empowered the community with that. And that is why I continue to run.
So surrogate, I need to know, tell our folks, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, ready, pen and paper. I'll record it. My cell phone number is 201-566-4738. 201-566-2738. Right? Right. Because don't call me after 11. But if you have a question about an estate, please don't hesitate to call. I am here. I make calls sometimes even on the weekends, because to me, I did this for the people. I left a higher paying job in New York and my pension to do this after COVID, because the Black and brown community was losing too much because we do not know about a will. We don't understand about the power of attorney. And then we're taken advantage of being told to get trusts when we really don't need them, at least for the state of New Jersey. And some people do. There's special needs trusts, but we're not going to get into that. But I would love to be able to, just talk
Well,
about.
we're going to have to bring you back.
I'm
We
excited
have
over
to
that,
sit
but
you
it's
down
really
here, yes.
important and the guardianship. I've empowered our parents, special needs parents, to be able to draft and self-represent.
Okay.
And I host clinics every other month when I'm not doing the wills for our seniors and our veterans, because I do believe that when you run for public office, you're there to serve. And you and I have spoken on the phone because of residents, and Yvette and I are almost on constant
Speed dial. We have
speed
you on speed
dial,
dial, yes.
because when the residents need those that they've put in public office, we should be there. That is the commitment that we make, and that is the commitment that I have made, and I want to continue doing so because my job isn't done.
All right. Commissioner?
Now, to your point, and I need for, if there's parents out there watching that have children that have special needs, the guardianship process is extremely important for one reason. Your child has special needs and they're unable to write. They can't even sign their name. The insurance will not accept your signature if you do not have legal guardianship of that child. So you can imagine your child becoming 18. They can't write for themselves. They can't speak for themselves over the phone. They're an adult now. They don't have a legal guardian. Now you're stuck because they cannot speak to you on their behalf, even if they're nonverbal, because you do not have legal guardianship. So even if you're their parent, becoming a legal guardian does not mean you're putting aside being their parent. You're always going to be their parent. But in order to sign for any documents they have, speak on their behalf, talk to doctors in the hospital, you have to be their legal guardian on the books.
All right, well, this sounds like another show. So, Sergey, we're going to come back to you. And then, Sean, come on up. Give me an update. What's going on in Prospect Park? Give me, I know it's hot and heavy. Prospect Park has a big primary tomorrow.
Well, your Prospect Park annual clutch.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Well. I mean, I know you have some dealings in Prospect Park. Let's get up here. We can talk a little bit about the midterms importance as a young leader in the Young Democrats, but also our only primary we have in Passaic County, I believe.
Yeah, you said it right there. I think when you talk about local elections, a lot of people look towards Washington, D.C. They look at the state level or Trenton to solve a lot of their problems. But what most people don't know is that local government is the closest to the people. When you're paying your property tax bill, it goes to essential municipal services that pave your roads, that build your park amenities. You're talking about infrastructure improvements as well as critical services to the community. And you need the right leaders to kind of galvanize all of that and bring the various issues that you care about to the fold for you to be taken care of. And that's why I tell a lot of people, don't look at Washington, D.C., don't look at Trenton, look right in your backyard, because at the end of the day, those are the people that are going to pick up your phone calls and try to take care of what's important. Now, in Prospect Park, it is the smallest community in Passaic County. I had the privilege of serving as the borough administrator there for about 6 years now. There is a critical race. It's the only primary, full slate, mayor and council face-off, where an incumbent mayor of 20-plus years is there on the ticket versus a councilman which everybody knows, who's up and down the state, who has a heart of gold and has been doing a lot of things for the community. You're talking about 40 years of public service. And there's a lot of issues, right? Prospect Park looks to Trenton to bail themselves out every year after year with property taxes going up. They look at Senator Benji Wimberly to give them additional aid. However, you need the right local leaders involved to stop unnecessary wasteful spending. You need people to really tackle the issues that are important to the municipality. You have Esther Perez, Rob Artis, and Louis Vega on one side, Muhammad Karula, Daisy Gonzalez, and Felicia Ortiz on the other side. Now, you don't need to be excited about candidates. I think Barack Obama talked about it the best, right? You're not just looking at the candidates, you're looking at the issues. When we talked about Mayor Mamdani earlier, right? The reason why a lot of people got excited about him, it's not because he was a dashing, handsome, brown man with an interesting last name. I'm not talking about myself. But it was the issues that really galvanized people. And then he continued, right? Senator Wimberly's son said it the best, right? Times have changed. People are now talking about issues in a different kind of way. You need to talk about accessibility to municipal services in a different way. Mayor Mamdani just posted something very simple. What's going on in the summer in New York City? And he did a map and he did this, and the way he talks about pothole politics, that's something that folks like Senator Wimberly's son and I can understand. And that's what resonates with the young people when they're coming out to vote. And especially for the smaller communities, right?
Let's give Mamdani one more shout out. His fiscal responsibility that he has already created a surplus, I believe already.
He closed the gap. There was a $12 billion deficit, $12 billion, and he closed that deficit because he not only applied pressure on the race, but Albany in New York got the pressure to basically fall in line along with a lot of the stuff that he was going to do, because he couldn't do it by himself, right? He couldn't raise income tax, right, on the average property taxpayer, what have you. He actually had to partner with Kathy, and Kathy, the governor, was able to work with him to actually do things for out of state or out of city property taxpayers to pay a little bit more. But it was the voters that got excited about the issues. And when you get excited about the issues on the ballot, it goes a long way. So I think if you're not excited about candidates tomorrow, I mean, believe me, Sergey Casanova is great, right? But if you're not excited, get excited about the issues, because that's how you get left behind. And even then, those candidates that lose, at least they move the needle on issues, right? You're talking about the Passaic County Democratic primary at the county level. Already people are having conversations about other issues that they necessarily wouldn't have because of the competition. So I think it's great. I think Prospect Park, it's going to be very close because that's the kind of community it is. Last I heard was, there was 29, as of Friday, 29 early votes, 103 vote by mail votes as of Friday. But, tomorrow it's going to come down to it. And I know Councilman Artis has been working extremely hard. Me personally, it's just my personal opinion. I do think it's a time for a change. I think when you have constant turnover and you have a lot of issues at Borough Hall, you got to have some sort of self-accountability, and there's time for some change. And I do think that Councilman Artis is that man, along with Louis Vega, a career firefighter in Patterson, and a Patterson teacher, a retired teacher, Esther Perez, former councilwoman. That team together, you can't beat them. So, but the county candidates, they're the endorsed candidates, they're good. But the local level, I think there's time for a change.
All right. Hey, listen. Are you still a Patriots fan?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown. I knew it was going to come up today. I said me and you were going to have this conversation.
AJ Brown. We're going to
first round draft pick in 27.
28 because the 2027 draft class is going to be very strong. So they purposefully held it off for 2028. And I do think New England's going to be back there. It was a tough Super Bowl loss. But at least we're not the Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
Oh, listen, hey, all right. Can we remove yourself from the mic?
And by the way, we're gonna go. I know we were talking about a lot of Knicks. Go Sixers.
Oh God, right. You would be a Sixers fan. No. Hey, Just, you gotta
interject. He's doing good when he closed the deficit. Now he just went off the rails.
Just, go ahead. What did you say?
I mean, as far as for the younger generation too, like the perception is everything, and the mayor of New York City, at the end of the day, like it goes a long way when you see someone out here roll their sleeves up. At the end of the day, when it comes to the younger generation, Ms. Watkins
I'm sorry, Ms. Watkins, you gotta take it down for a second. Go ahead, Jess. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, with the younger generation, they want to see people out here going through some of the struggles that everyone else sees, right? So, one of the things that the younger generation is not fooled by, once they see one person do it and then like everybody else in the political world try to follow after, so if one person picks up a shovel on social media and then like everyone else is doing it, we're not fooled by that, right? We know who genuinely did it. We know when people genuinely do things when the cameras are not going, because as you always like to say, character is what you do when no one's watching, right? So that's what the younger generation, they want to make sure that they see someone that's going through the same struggle, that's, rolling up their sleeves, right, and going to battle for them. That's a way to gain their respect and for people to show up for them at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, to the young folks, they know when you're out here front.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Am I right? So they know, like, if you're just looking for opportunity to get on Facebook or IG and do something, because there was some silly stuff going on during the Patterson campaign. Like, I got a respect for each one of them, but I know I did not take my butt out there and shovel nothing. I'd be in a hospital if I was trying to shovel at this point in my life. So it's got to be insulting to the intelligence to a lot of people too. When you only show up for certain things, or after you win, you're campaigning and a whole nother day I got in town, and you just, we got so many issues here. And that should be a major thing that young folks should look out for. Like people who are genuinely concerned about Patterson or Passaic or Prospect Park, you're going to know that's what they do already. Not that they did it because they became elected, because some folks are professional politicians. Like they are professional at it. Like this is their only goal and aim. They're not going to work with special needs. They're not going to work with raising funds for less fortunate in DR or right here in Patterson. It's just who they are.
That's why you can't disappear after elections, and that's why it's important to have annual things. I know, like the Feed the Needy dinner, that is like 33 years. Yeah. So these are things that that you were doing before even getting into politics, and that's who you are on your resume. And like I said, the community know who are the real resources out here when it comes to election season. And you don't even have to be in politics to have that impact. And you might get into it later down the road, and best believe someone's going to remember when you put a coat on someone's back when it was 20 degrees outside, and it'll take you a long way.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean,
people are very smart.
Very smart. We have a school board election coming up also in November, and my hope is that folks who have a genuine concern about issues such as special education, about classroom sizes, about school closures, parents that want to get involved in it. Not just political hacks who are there because they're being financed by somebody to run. I mean, we miss the Al Moody's and the Anne-Marie Van Cherries and people who did it because they genuinely cared about being part of it.
They want to help.
Willa Mae Taylor. Shout out to Willa Mae Taylor. God bless her. Willa Mae Taylor was an educator who after she retired came back and served on the school board. We need more of those type folks to come back and serve on the school board. So my condolences. I mean, she's a legend, Willa Mae Taylor. Just wanted to, acknowledge her as the type of school board candidates that we need to see in the future. And it doesn't come down to race or, we need genuinely people who understand finance, who understand the importance that without a good education, that, everything else is null and void. You think about that. Like, if we don't properly educate these kids, then everything else is just null and void. Because we just keep doing it. It's like the rat or the gerbil, running, just kicking back in the same place. So we're going to come back to that. But come on up, Marquisha. We got to hear. First, we're going to talk about the New Jersey Surf Wave. I'm sorry, the Wave. Oh, wait, time out. She has the Wave, the Liberty, the Sirens, Gotham, and a Rise on one. Because she is a VIP at the Liberty basketball games and the Nets. So before I was one of those lone net fans going to those games, it was here. So give me an update. What's going on?
So right now we're in the off season. First of all, thank you to everyone who supported us this season. Senator, thank you for your support for myself and my teammates. We didn't have the season that we wanted to have, but we will be back next season at Hinchcliffe, stronger and much better. Okay, now we also know that you work for the Sheriff's Department. Tell us what the sheriff has in store for us. He has no opponent, but let's go. What's going on in Passaic County Sheriff Department? So the sheriff, he's up next year. However, we are. Oh, that's right. We're on the same ticket together. But we do have an initiative that we are launching. It actually launched today. It's the Sheriff Sports Safety Initiative, and basically the sheriff, very similar to Senator Wembley, is actually a football coach. He coaches for the Wayne Panthers, and he's very passionate about health and safety. And so this year, rising seniors, which are current juniors who are student athletes, will have the opportunity to join the first cohort and become CPR certified for free. So we have 100 spots open. Only requirement, you have to be a Passaic County resident, a rising senior, and a student athlete. All right. Anything else going on in the political arena as far as midterms that you'd like to add? Please vote. Vote tomorrow. You see so many people on social media complaining. Do your research. Not just on the candidates, but on the seat, because a lot of people seem to have more questions. And like Justin said, life doesn't change, right? We experience things. We need to be able to access resources. And it's unfortunate when people go to Senator Wembley for everything because he is their resource and they don't know who the other resources should be. So do your research, vote for the Democratic candidates. So Senator Cory Booker, Congresswoman Nellie Poe for CD9, Judge Casanova for surrogate, and Nick Valicki and Orlando Cruz for commissioner. If you aren't able to get out there, please do your research between now and November, because there's no way we can complain about Trump but not do our part. Less scrolling, more voting. And if you are going to scroll for the information that you need to, that matters the most at the end of the day. Yeah, because really we've gotten to the point with the social media that the same people who stay on social media all day don't vote. Yes. But they scroll for hours a day. Yeah, and it's all about, let me see if I can get something that's going to get a lot of likes. Let me criticize somebody for a lot of likes. The one piece I would tell any potential candidate is, be smart with social media. Yes. Like, be careful what you say, because that stuff never goes away. Never. That stuff never goes away. It's like nowadays, you think about everywhere you go, there's a camera. On social media, somebody's screenshotting everything you say. Mm-hmm. So when you have that moment that you just decide to maybe go out and party, then decide you're going to get on social media and say stuff, that stuff's not going away. Mm-hmm. It's not going to go away, so be smart. Listen. We're going to talk some basketball. Tony Murphy, a couple of weeks ago. Come on, Rob and Shalik, we're going to get on this. Patterson, who came up with this list? Who was this, the newspaper or somebody? Yeah, so, and I think they commented under my post. I believe it was the Star Ledger, and they said it was a couple years ago where they made this list. Yeah, I don't care what year it is. All right, so on the first team of the all-Patterson basketball team, listen to this. First team, Tim Thomas, no question. No question. Second team, Tyrone Collins. No question. No three-point line either. Imagine if he had a three-point line. Dwight Wilbur. Yeah, Dwight was the real deal. National champion, Villanova. Third, James Scott, Eastside. Great career, St. John's, some NBA play, great player. Third, Marquise Webb. Great career at Patterson Catholic, winner, and went on to Rutgers. Second team, Irvin Watkins. Are you familiar with Irvin Watkins, Barry? Do you know that guy? Irvin Watkins, Don Bosco Tech. Unbelievable scorer.
corner like him. I don't care what.
I'm not going to question you. I've never questioned you.
I'm not saying you should.
I remember.
Y'all got to educate me on the sports, man.
Okay.
And I will say, he shouldn't have been on second team. He's
Your mind just said.
been honest.
Okay, I got to love that. Second team, Kawan Johnson, who was unbelievable. That was during my early years. Kawan was unbelievable scorer. Third, Rich Carsetto, Old St. Bonaventure, Patterson's earlier starts. Carsetto harassed me for years on social media because he didn't make some Hall of Fame. I have nothing to do with anybody's Hall of Fame. Make that clear. I have no votes. Shalik, I have no votes on the Hall of Fame. Patterson, yeah. And Corsetto, you were corny for attacking me on those times there. James Hargrove, your boy. Hargrove, number 2. Tough two-way player. Had a great college career. Donald Hand is also forgotten. UVA All-ACC guard. Patterson Catholic. Larry Doby, who had a great career in baseball, obviously, but was an unbelievable basketball player. Tony Murphy Jr. is on this third team. Tony Murphy Jr. is on the third team. Chris Collins, Coach Collins' son, is on this third team. Rory Sparrow, third team. I think he had 12, 13-year NBA career. How long? Like
12,
13?
12
year NBA career.
13.
And Deshaun Williams, who's one of the most prolific scorers ever, not just here in Patterson, but at Syracuse. But there is one name that is missing, and that is Tony Murphy Sr. I've been Shalik. I've been on the box before. Tony Murphy Sr. is first team. I don't care who says it. The other person, you might as well have 6 players, is Jose Sosa from Passaic County Tech. Jose Sosa and his teammates celebrated their anniversary, 50th year anniversary from winning Passaic County tournament, which I think is PCTI's only Passaic County tournament they won. But that team was loaded.
I think they beat
Barlow.
my father's team.
Yeah. Barlow and them that year. So Sosa, Barlow, Jim Lampley. There's a bunch of Tech guys. Who's that? Who's that? Lampley. Lampley was 6'9". Barlow was 6'10". They were loaded. They were really loaded. And sometimes those names become forgotten. But the other name that belongs on here, first team /1, Miles Mack. Miles Mack was phenomenal at Patterson Catholic. Then he went to over to St. Anthony's with Kyle Anderson, who was Patterson roots. So if you want to put a team, Kyle belongs on there somewhere. Mm-hmm. They were the national champs. Yeah. So if you go back to that, you remember they did the documentary. It was on TV and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They went, 32-0 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Miles and Kyle didn't lose too many games at all, and they were national champs. How do you leave these people off there? But we got so much talent in Patterson. Murph, just talk a little bit about your dad.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I have a problem with the list. I'm not even going to lie. I got a big problem with the list because I feel like, first of all, who's doing these lists? That's number one. And number two, what are they basing the list off of? What is the criteria for the list? Because you have, and it's no knock to anybody, but you have guys who only played high school basketball. So how are they on the same list?
It should be a whole body of work.
How are they
I
on the
agree.
same
The whole
list?
body of work should be included. Like it should be there. Yes.
Exactly. So you have high school people who stopped at high school with people who played 4 years of high school, and also like the NBA guys. I feel like they should automatically be on first team because everybody's dream is to go to the highest level, and they achieved it. So there's no questioning that. Everybody else is just like, okay, are we talking about opinions or are we talking about actual numbers?
No, this is somebody behind a computer that played no sports, who worked for the Star Ledger, who eats tuna fish sandwiches every day, who came up with this list. But come on, no, Shalik, you got to come to the mic. Hold up, man, you got to give me a second. Shalik, come up. Give me your opinion.
No, but see, now what Tone said is kind of contradictory because even though his father didn't make it to the pros, he still got to be on first team.
But he got drafted though.
Harg got drafted. I mean, Harg had a free agent trial with the Milwaukee Bucks. So sometimes that list, like you said, criteria got to go first. Yeah. Are we saying up until you graduate high school, or up until after college?
This is the best. So you look at the best and winners.
Right.
So you look at guys like Put.
Right.
Winner.
The best.
Mikey Cleaves.
Right.
Did Mikey win?
And that's
did
what I
Mikey
put in
win
total
4
comments.
tournaments?
Yeah. No, they said I was wrong.
You were wrong?
Yeah.
Who won? How many did he win? 3.
Yeah.
All right,
Mikey
Mikey Cleaves.
I put that in tone comments. Put is the best under 6 feet player I ever seen in pass.
Yeah.
Under 6 feet. But even like, and I win this bet all the time. Well, not all the time, a lot of times. I tell people it's only 5 people from Patterson that average 20 points or better at a Division I school. And I win that.
Give me the name.
I don't remember. But some of the people who you think is not on that list, Tim not on it, JS not on it, Murph is 1, senior, Riggins.
Oh wait, yes, Eric Riggins, Rutgers. Eric Riggins is never considered or talked about.
Considered,
right.
Riggins is not on there.
Did Miles do it at Rutgers?
No.
No 20?
Hargrove is on there. And there's 2 other people I can't think offhand. But yeah, the top people who you think will be on there, Tim, Murph, James Scott, they ain't even average 20 at a D1 school. Mm-hmm. So like you said, like Murph said, you got to set the criteria first.
Oh, we got to come back with this show. Mary, you got to come up. I'm sorry, they can't hear you from here. You got to get up.
I'll bring it to Mike.
Yeah. This is the one exception that we're going to have the mic move. Yes.
I just want to say, part of that list is because they went to the county scorers. And my son was number 4. On the county scoring, he was top 4.
If that was the case, then Justin Krauskau would have made it.
Justin Krauskau scored over 2,000.
He scored over 2,000.
Alfonso G technically scored over 2,000.
Alfonso G, yes.
But
So
Mr.
you
Vaca, I
can't.
believe,
It's
has
all
something
over.
to
That's
do
what I'm
with
saying.
Okay, well,
The criteria
listen, we
is
had
okay.
Billy Vaca here before,
Yeah.
and I forgot about Justin Krauskau. Is one of the top 2.
He's top. He's
He's
scored
over 2,000 at the
He
ball.
scored over 2,000 at the ball.
G.
Alfonso G over
Alfonso
2,000.
G is over 2,000 points. So look, we can argue about this all day. Hey Rob, since you are the only person to ever have a camp named after Rob, give me your top 5. Just give me your top 5 real quick. No pressure. No pressure.
Top 5. Tim Thomas. James Hargrove.
Okay.
James Scott. Tony Murphy Sr. 5th one up in the air.
All right, we're going 4. All right. That's how I feel. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm surprised, and like you said, the criteria and next level and accolades at the next level. Like someone like Fuquan Edwin, who was defensive player of the year
in the Seton Hall of Fame,
and then I think also in the G League was G League, defensive player of the year.
Yes.
So, like I said, the criteria just seems like it's all around. Because I know you're trying to say it's like, okay, they went for the top scorers. No, they didn't go for all the top scorers, right? They didn't go for all the top accolades. So I think once when you do a list, even in the NBA, when they did the top 75, you're always gonna leave someone out. But but the NBA one is kind of different. But this one, I think when they put those lists out,
Darryl Watkins.
Yeah.
Mook. I mean, we could go all day long with some of the best, and then I know I'm going to get the things. You didn't talk about the girls. We got to do the girls another day.
What is 16 WNBA champion, Essence Carson?
Essence Carson is the GOAT. There's nobody who's not done leave Essence on there. The twins are at Rutgers now, who are doing phenomenal things. Yes, the right twins. Yes.
The first twins.
And Kennedy's basketball squads, the East Side squads from back in the day were loaded. Vanessa Painter played with the guys at School 13 and 16th Ave. Like, there is unbelievable amount of talent when it comes to, that type of thing. Nicole Loudon, is she the leading scorer in the county of all time?
She might be. She's up there. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Nicole Loudon. So look, Patterson, you could be proud of basketball. I had to get Murphy on here, but I'm going to come on your podcast. I wanted a list. We got to come up with a criteria.
Like we got to
get Daryl Jacobs.
Yes.
Get Rory. Let's get a criteria.
Okay.
We may be able to put a book together. That's how many basketball players athletes have come out of the city of Patterson.
But that reinforces my point. If we sit here, even we go Murph podcast, all the players that came out of passing over the last 50 years, and for only 5 that averaged over 20, that says a lot about those 5 players.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, listen, all I know is that we got to sit down at some point. Somebody got to put pen to paper and come up with these names. Because every time we sit here, we come up with a new name that we forgot. Diamond Danny Singletary, I told him, Coppin State, a football and a basketball and baseball player, and played in the NCAA twice, and had one of the biggest upsets ever when they, won, Coppin State.
And Riggins get looked over all the
Eric
time.
Riggins was phenomenal at PCDI and at Rutgers. Rutgers. He went to Tech. He went to Tech.
All right.
He went to Tech. When they had some good ball players, really good there during Tech in that period.
Big
But
City
they
went
could
to
never
Tech,
beat
too.
Eastside or Kennedy except that 76 squad. And that was Jose Sosa, who I think belongs on that first team, regardless of here. And Sosa had a great career in college, and then he went and became a great player over in Puerto Rico. He's like the Michael Jordan in Puerto Rico. But listen, NBA, we're going to get in there. Who?
Juan Gao.
Juan Griles was another star over there in Puerto Rico and had a great career at Don Bosco Tech. But listen, we're going to get right into politics. Give us your last word on the elections coming up. All right, any political advice?
Well, political advice is hard to say because, like I said before, the new generation is taking care of what happened in the political arena. They watching, they're not talking, but they are acting. And when you see the way the progressive movement is growing, it shows that there's something wrong with the picture. I mean, any candidate that is on the progressive side, that being endorsed by Sanders, Ana Lilia, Mandani, they are making way.
Ras Baraka has become
Ras
a major
Baraka
player,
is,
yes.
is one of the top guy now because of the progressive movement. People are fed up with the way we acting. When I say we, I'm part of the status quo.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not going to say that now, but I see the movement and I appreciate that movement
gotta
and I
acknowledge it.
respect that. And I really think people have to take into consideration those people that are moving to that direction. My advice is educate yourself in politics, look at all the candidates, and look at all the issues, and make sure you vote. Because if you don't vote, you don't count.
Yeah. Hey, Corey, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge what's going on in the school board. Any updates on the school closures? Any advice for the parents who have yet to register their kids back into their Senate district? I hear that's become an issue.
Yeah, and that's another issue that I have because let's be honest. One of the biggest issues right now that I have with the district is they're saying, well, Mr. T, we have to close these schools and send these children back to their neighborhood schools. But when's the last time we've actually had neighborhoods in Patterson? Think about that. In order to build a neighborhood, it takes time to develop the relationship within the neighborhood, to get to know people. What's going on in Patterson now, almost every month, people are moving. The influx of transplants is crazy. People moving in and out of neighborhoods. So the continuity isn't there. Most of the continuity, it's like social media has, even though it's brought people together, it's separated people even more. So where a neighbor used to live next door to you, your neighbor might be in your community, but they might live in another continent because of social media. So I will say this, going forward in this political arena, don't completely dismiss social media. Zoran Mandani, he completely took social media. He took what is known as the Democratic Socialists, and he said, I need you young folks to take your TikToks and take your Instagrams and take your Snapchats and start posting me everywhere. He got 1 million votes. So do not, and to the candidates, do not dismiss the power of social media. It took me 16 years to learn how to do it. A long time. Now we're over 100,000 people on Facebook, close to 100,000 followers on Instagram, over 80,000 followers on TikTok. That was not an overnight thing. It took 16 years. But once you learn a system, don't be a gatekeeper. Bring other people in. Let people know what's going on, because like it or not, even if you continue to win seats, sooner or later, somebody else is going to occupy that seat, whether you lose the seat, whether you willfully leave the seat, or whether God just comes and says, okay, time up. Get the next generation. Bring them in. Show them what needs to be done. I'm talking to those of us that have been in office for a little while. Grab the next generation and show them what needs to be done. When we do that, that's how we build linear instead of just building up and down. We got to build across so that people in the community can also begin to feel heard and seen by the people that they elect into those
All right.
seats.
Any advice for the parents who have concerns about the school closures?
Now, the parents with the school closures, if you have issues regarding school number 1, Alexander Hamilton Academy, Young Boys Leadership Academy, and that's Norman S. Weir as well, especially Norman S. Weir. There's a lot of information coming out about Norman S. Weir. I want you guys to understand something. When it comes to the school closures, there's some personal aspects involved. We know that. But make sure you come to 90 Delaware Avenue
Make sure you continue to write your complaints. Let them know what your issues are. And I always encourage parents to do this. Come down to 90 Delaware. They don't like to see parents. I'm going to be honest with you. They don't like to see parents because a lot of times the parents will go to 90 Delaware and they'll have me on the line. But continue to go there because you are your child's only voice. No one else is going to care more about your child than you do.
All right, thanks. Well, listen, and as noted, you can find Corey on social media if you need to reach out to him. A fierce advocate for special education and for the fight here. And Corey, the one thing I said when they're talking about the projection was that we would have less kids in 10 years from now in our public schools. I think that's absolutely crazy. Because all you have to do is ride around Patterson. If you go down Broadway alone, where Broadway Pizzeria, new development, 300 units.
Yes.
Seatown, another 200 units. Behind the old City Hall, another 300 units. And if you just ride down Governor Street alone, the amount of multi-dwelling, it's crazy. I don't even know how our infrastructure is going to hold this stuff. But the bottom line is, before, sooner or later, we're going to be at classroom sizes of the old times of 35, 40 to 1 in a classroom, which you have no control. As a former classroom teacher, no way in the world can you control 40 people in the classroom. Not going to work.
So closing schools there right now is just, to me, it's just not an option. No matter which way you look at it. I mean, how do you repurpose them? I mean, you have some schools around the district that they repurposed, and they're empty.
And Alexander Hamilton was purchased for $13.5 million.
Indeed.
And it's going to be repurposed for storage or something for facilities. I think is that the plan? That doesn't make sense.
And we barely have room now.
So that's more the reason for some of these young folks to get involved in this school board election coming up. Young parents get involved. Go to your PTA meetings, PTO meetings. Get involved. Be an advocate for the voiceless, because there's a lot of kids who will never know. Like the fact that when we grew up, we had the old MLK downtown Patterson, and I told somebody the craziest thing is like school 13 only went up to the 6th grade, school 12, and we would go to MLK, which is social services over there.
Right.
And the crazy part is, thank God there were no guns and knives really going on, but you could get knuckled up real quick because it was a battle of going up and down. We had a group called the Black Spades on Market Street, and then you had the Rastafarians at 12th Ave, and there were fights. But thank God nobody ever got killed or shot or anything like that. But I think that was part of the dismantling of that major middle school downtown Patterson. But some people don't know the history of Patterson, don't know what's going on here.
To your point, I know that we're coming up on senior days and things of that nature. I'm encouraging young folks, please do not make crank calls saying that the school is under lockdown, that there's someone there with a weapon. That is not funny.
You could go to jail for it too.
Absolutely. That's not funny. So do not do it. I'm asking you, please, if that's a thought in your mind, get it out of your mind. It's not good.
Well, listen, we're getting ready to wrap up. So we cannot not wrap up without giving some predictions for the NBA Finals. Knicks and the Spurs start on Wednesday. Like I said, we have Dylan Harper over there with the Spurs, but we have the Knicks, who haven't been in the finals since 1999 and haven't won a championship since 1973 with Clyde Frazier. And it's good to see Clyde still on the sideline and alive and kicking well. But a lot of people forget about Willis Reed and Dave DeBusschere and Bill Bradley, Dean Meminger, Earl DePearl. I mean, these were the days, Channel 9. You remember those, Rob? Channel 9 days. You turned the channel. So I'm excited for New York for this. So give me your prediction.
Well, I think the Knicks going to win, but this is going to be real tough.
How many games? Knicks and what?
I said 7. And
Knicks and 7?
How are they going to stop Victor?
Yeah,
how are they going to stop this kid? How? I mean, this kid can throw from anywhere. He can score from outside, from inside. He can rebound. I mean, this kid is unbelievable.
But you're going with the Knicks?
I go with the Knicks because I'm happy to be from this area, but my heart is in San Antonio.
Okay, all right. Who you got, Corey?
I mean, the algorithm is pointing towards the Knicks. I'm not a sports person. I'm not even going to pretend to be. But the algorithm, I mean, you go online now, everything is almost orange and blue. You almost have to take the color off your screen. But the algorithm is pointing towards the Knicks. Yeah.
Okay. Murph, you're a basketball coach. What you got going on?
I think it's going to actually be a really good series. I hope it goes 7 games because after this, there's no more basketball for a long time. So I hope it goes 7 games.
WNBA. You got WNBA?
You do have WNBA. But yeah, I would say Knicks in 7. Knicks in 7.
Just you got?
I'm gonna go with the Knicks. I'm gonna go with the Knicks in 6 because I think if they're gonna close it out, it's gonna have to be in New York. Very hard to win in San Antonio. They play great behind their crowd, and I think the Knicks are gonna have to steal game 1.
All right. Who you got? You're here. You might as well give us a pick. Knicks or Spurs?
Yeah, definitely. Knicks.
Knicks.
I told you the algorithm is
Baby Rob, what you got?
New York.
And how many?
5.
5.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Five.
Shalik, what you got?
Knicks and 6.
Knicks and 6. Marion, who you got?
I got the Knicks, but I want to see Dylan do real good.
Yeah, I want to see Dylan do good too, though.
Yeah.
He can do good.
All right. Coach Barbie Watkins, who you got?
I go with the Knicks. I want to see 7 games. Look, 'cause like you said, after that, it's one more basketball.
I know.
Don't say that about Marquisha. Marquisha, there's plenty of basketball to
She'll
go.
be all right.
In the shot, who you got?
Spurs and 4.
Spurs and 4.
Wow, no way.
The story for the Knicks ends with Andre Reynolds, Eastern Conference. The real finals was the Western Conference.
Oh, wow.
We swept.
Wow.
Victor Wembanyama's gonna get 28 points, 12 rebounds.
Wow.
And you can't stop him.
Here's the Sixer fan. Yeah, let's make sure I get some floor seats for those. All right, we got to go to the next one.
Yo, so listen. So listen. Thanks to the good politicians like Senator Wembley and everybody. Gambling is legal in New Jersey. and listen, if he works in Inglewood Cliffs, I know he get a nice salary. So when this camera go off, if he believe in that suite, let me know how much he believe in that suite.
Marquisha, who you got? Who you got?
And I guessed that.
Yeah.
How much you
they all taking some action on that, brother.
Listen,
Real
the Nets have
right
Brunson, but the Spurs still have Greg Popovich. That means something. So Spurs, he is alive.
I thought he was dead.
He's alive, and he is active in that locker room. Spurs and 6.
When it was 2-1, when OKC was up, when OKC blew them
Yeah,
out,
he in the locker room shop.
He works in the front office now.
Yes.
All right. Jonathan, who you got?
I got the Knicks and the Lucky 7.
Lucky 7. Well, listen.
They got fresh legs. They've been out for like a week and a half.
Yvette, who you got?
The Knicks.
All right. Crazy Diane. And listen, Vince, I know you're on the camera. Who you got? Knicks. Q, who you got? Knicks. Listen, it's basically a majority here is going with the Knicks. Listen, I'm not done. I'm cheering hard for Dylan Harper. I like Maria Harper, Ron Harper, all them. I wanted to go 7, but my gut feeling is Knicks and 6. Knicks and 6. I believe they have to win at home. If it goes to 7, Spurs,
They got fresh legs. Knicks got fresh legs.
Knicks have fresh legs. And also,
week and a half.
you know who got to get a shout out? Mike Brown. Mike Brown been fired a couple of times. I heard his story about he was on vacation all over the world just to get his mind right. So Mike Brown, I'm cheering for you. And in our next argument, I had an argument with some young kids about who's the GOAT of all time. And every one of them said LeBron James. And I go, there's a guy named Michael Jordan, and forget that. You got Kareem, you got Kobe. I love LeBron. I love LeBron. But he can't just be crowned the GOAT. So we got a GOAT conversation next one here. Okay. And outside of Patterson, who is the GOAT? Think about that. But Jordan got
LeBron
6.
Too.
Allen Iverson.
6-0. Allen Iverson. We need to talk to him at the end. Shalik, make sure you get his cash out. Get his cash out.
That's not the answer for this one.
I can leave mine with yours and you go, I trust you. And you really believe that shit?
Baby Rob has spoken. So, Innishan, do not leave after we go off. Do not leave.
I leave mine with you.
Listen.
Cash on delivery.
Barbershop Talk, episode 13, here at the House of Experts, 728. 33.
Yeah.
13. Episode 30. Listen, it's hot. Here, Yankees are winning. The Mets are stinking it up. So, I'm sorry about that, guys.
You come back now, baby.
Okay, you're coming back. But we got to come back, talk a little bit of baseball. Just, I know the Jackals are doing really well. How are they doing in first place?
First, they won today.
What school went over there?
5-1 today.
Jackals are in first place.
Come out to the stadium. And the Cosmos play on June 6 this weekend on Saturday at Hinchliffe Stadium, and then the Jackals will be back on June 16th. They're going on the road for a few. But we got, the Jackals have a really good baseball team, so they're fun to watch.
Bobby Jones is fun to watch too. Bobby's enjoyable.
Yes,
to watch.
very animated.
So listen, check out Hinchliffe Stadium. It's alive and well. The Jackals and the Cosmos going on. Just you can check out their website, Hinchliffe Stadium. Go to the Jackals website on social media or the Cosmos. We have a lot of local folks working with both teams. I just want to close out and say tomorrow's election is super, super important. Every election is super, super important. The polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. here in the city of Patterson. You have any issues, you can reach out to your Passaic County clerk. You can reach out to your clerk within your city, Patterson, Passaic, wherever you're at. Voting, make sure that stuff is done. And I just think voting is just so important. And like I said, just show class, win, lose, draw, or tie, and don't ever just quit the game. If your heart is really into this, just keep grinding, keep doing what's right. And I close out. I like to give a tribute to one of my dear friends. Gordon Scooter Whiting passed away, and he was a legend, not just in Hackensack, but a great coach in Englewood, known throughout the state, known by national coaches throughout the United States, a great father, husband, son, administrator, just a great person. And his loss will be deeply felt, obviously in the Hackensack community. Obviously, I worked there for 9 years with the football team, and he was my defensive coordinator and basically assistant head coach for 9 years. So my condolences go out to the Hackensack family, especially to his wife Joy, his son Curtis, and his daughter Camille. And listen, let's not take life for granted. Too often we are taking things for granted and think an election is important, but your life is a little more important. Your family's life is more important. We also lost Mr. Jim Brown, who was a legend. He was a sergeant at arms in the State House. He's a legend with the Masons here in the city of Patterson. And back in the day at Sten Shavers, everybody knew Mr. Brown. If you bought a pair of shoes in the city of Patterson, you know who Mr. Brown was. So Jim Brown, his services will be this week here in the city of Patterson. And it's been a difficult couple of weeks, me personally, a lot of funerals and wakes and stuff like that. And so the last message I say is that, it's great to be an elected official. It's great to support different candidates. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all people. And I think we should treat each other as such. And if you want to see the opposite, you just look at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and the antics that come out of there. You want to be the opposite of that. You want to be inclusive. You don't want to be about racial division. You do not want to be about gender issues and division and wealth gap. Obviously, you think about what he's trying to do as far as giving the rioters from January 6th money, when folks who this country was, built their backs on, black folks never got reparations. And we all know that all the stuff they talk about, undocumented residents, stuff like that, America couldn't operate. Undocumented counts for billions of dollars into our economy every year. So let's come together. Let's take this serious. And at the end of the day, as I always say, do not fall into despair. Hope is here.